So, Morgan, I think one of the most interesting offseason topics for the Kings is Mike Brown's deal.
Yeah.
Mike Brown entering year 3 with the Kings. Mm-hmm. He signed a 4-year deal, but we learned that 4th year is a mutual option between him and the team. Sounds like he's already ready to rip that up and go, no. This is the final year. I want a new deal.
Correct.
Jake Fisher from Yahoo Sports earlier this week talked about it, saying contract extension discussions between Mike Brown and the Kings are expected to center around a similar 8-figure threshold after Monty Williams' deal with the Pistons last year.
Ooh.
So I went and I was looking at the coaching salaries in the league right now because we have seen a spike in the last year and a half, ever since Monty Williams got that deal with the Pistons.
Yeah.
So Greg Popovich signed an extension, 5 years, $80 million, $16 million a year. Spoelstra signed an 8-year, $120 million extension, $15 million a year. Steve Kerr got 2 years, $35 million extension. Monty Williams last year, 6 years, $78.5 million, $13 million a year. Yep. Mike Budenholzer signed a 5-year deal that's been reported to be over $50 million. Then Nick Nurse last year with the Sixers got about $8 million per season. And then Jason Kidd just got an extension. We don't know what those figures look like at this point. It's interesting because the spike has come, and I feel like it was almost inevitable. These coaches are looking around the league going, all the players are getting these crazy raises. We're not really getting those. Well, the time has come for coaches around the league. The head guys are making a shit ton of money now.
Shit ton.
And Mike Brown's going, let's see. I ended a playoff drought. We've won a lot of games since I've taken over as head coach. Yeah. I think it's time for me to get paid.
I've helped implement a culture here. Like, there's some good things going on. And it's the best time for him to throw that in their faces, right? Because you don't want another year to go by and then like the Western Conference somehow just gets tougher and tougher, you know, like the Monstars all of a sudden play on a team or whatever the hell happens. And then it doesn't look so good for your Sacramento Kings. So yeah, I absolutely understand why this is being talked about. So then I guess for you, how important is it that they get this done before the actual season starts?
I think it's really important. This Kings team has not had stability. You've heard the players talk about that, especially guys who have been here for a long time. Think about all the coaches since 2006, since Rick Alderman. We don't need to go over every one of them. It's depressing.
And yeah.
Although the Kings have their flaws and the West is a juggernaut, it's going to get even more challenging. I think you have to commit to Mike Brown. Like, this guy has brought
what do you think? Yes.
Morgan, there's some that are like, well, let's see what it looks like next year.
And that's, to me, though, that is where, like, that sports media culture comes in, and it's like, you gotta win championships or everyone gets fired. Like, I understand the NFL does weird things on their little Black Monday. So cute that's like your style and your toxic culture.
To be fair, you said the NBA's done that. I mean, we just saw Vogel get fired in the first year of a deal.
They totally have as well. But I guess my point is, like, you're seeing more and more when there is continuity, when there's stability, and especially in basketball, it's not always going to be the coach's fault. Sometimes it goes to personnel, like who you're coaching, all those different things. But also you have to understand the way that, I guess, athletes can develop together and learn together. Like, you grow. And I think sometimes, like, people don't see that with sports. You just like plug and play and everyone should be good all of a sudden because this is a big name, because this person is the fastest player in the league and this person is the best rebounder in the league. That's going to make you the best. No, there's so much to it that has to do with staying together. And you're seeing that being something that works around the league. I mean, look at Michael Malone in the couple years where there wasn't as much success, even when he had one of the best players in the league, two of the best players in the league on his team. You know, like, you got to make sure that there's patience there within that. And it's only been 2 years with Mike Brown.
It's only been 2 years, and I think you've seen enough progress.
Yes.
That you go, yeah, okay. I mean, it's his first year, they won 48 games in a conference where, like, look, you look back at it now, it's like, the West wasn't as good. Teams were banged up. There was a lot of change. The Kings stayed relatively healthy.
Yes.
And they were able to be the number 3 seed. They lost 2 fewer games this year, and they dropped, to the play-in, win the first one, lose the second one. there's been good, but like also for them to take the next step, I don't think it's necessarily just, you go, oh, this is all Mike Brown to figure out. Like, no, like this front office has to make some moves. You look around this league now, no greater example than what the Dallas Mavericks did, right? The Dallas Mavericks just beat the OKC Thunder in a 7-game series, right? They win game 6. They don't win that series without PJ Washington. I don't think anyone would have thought that before the series. They don't win that series without him. They don't win that series without Daniel Gafford's impact, right? The rookie Derek Lively. Last year, those guys were on the team. Hell, Dallas does not make they're not in this spot if they don't make those deals at the deadline. And so it's a great example of like, you took 2 guys from losing teams, Gafford and Washington, and then Washington from Charlotte. They come to this team in Dallas. They fit perfectly. And now Dallas has elevated their games where they have a chance to get to the NBA Finals, and they put the pieces around. It makes everybody look better, but that's the type of aggressiveness that you need. And so no one's going to accuse PJ Washington of being a star, even though he's played at like a really elevated level, or Gafford, but they're the perfect role-playing guys to go with that group.
Yes, you got to make sure that you're complimenting everybody.
So my point is, like, these are the type of moves that you could have made at the deadline you didn't make. So to me, it's on the front office to get Mike Brown some more of these pieces.
Agreed.
But Mike Brown, for what he has had at his disposal, I think he's gotten the most out of this group. Wasn't perfect last year. I think there's a lot of things we can talk about. But in terms of big picture stuff, you got to bring this guy back and give him a new deal. Here's a couple of reasons. One, it's important to get done before the season because I just don't want it. That's going to linger. It's going to be a topic. It's going to be a distraction all year long. The Kings got off to a slow start. Are they going to fire him? Like, you don't want those things hanging over you, right? Number 2, there's no NBA coaching salary cap. You could pay these coaches whatever you want. It doesn't go against your cap. Just pay these guys. I mean, for over the years, we've seen the Kings fire, and we've seen around the league too, to fire these coaches when they're making $3-4 million and go, it doesn't matter, and they pay them out for the next 3 years. No, it's like, show your commitment. Number 3, if you're Sacramento, let's be honest about it. What kind of message does it send if like you've been searching for a winning product, a respectable product for years, and the guy you end up finally hiring gets you there, and then that's not good enough?
Right.
What kind of veteran or like legit coach is going to be like jumping for joy to take this job if he's going, wait, if I don't win right away and turn this around?
You can't win a championship without a championship roster.
Yep.
And like a coach can take their system and a roster so far in this league. If you're in the Eastern Conference, you can go far. When you're in the Western Conference, you have to have not only the right coaching staff, strategy, style, whatever, you have to have the right personnel. And that was something that I didn't believe in for so long, because I remember seeing so many teams around the league being able to be coached the right way and being able to see success with just, you know, their what type of style of game that they played with. And then when you come into the Western Conference and you see all the names and you see what the names are capable of doing when the right role players are around them, you just know, okay, well, you have to have some of those names weaved in your roster. You have to have the right role players, and then allow Mike Brown to figure it all out.
Yeah, and I think there were times you look back at last season and go, man, should they have been playing Keon Ellis earlier? Should Mike Brown have given him more run earlier in the season, because you saw the impact he had once he got the shot?
But you say that and you don't even know what was going on behind the scenes
ever
with like Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter.
And he was on a 2-way deal. Yes. So I get, but you saw the impact. Here's what I do know. When I look at the Kings and saw what they were able to do defensively late in the year and the roster that they had, I'm impressed. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge credit to the players playing for sure, right? But like Mike Brown for getting the most out of that group. Now, back to my other point, it's just now you got to give him some more of the pieces so he can get the best out of the group and elevate this team to get back to the playoffs and win around.
Yeah, like the product, like I feel like the culture and the type of product it can be, it's there, and it is being led the right way with someone like Mike Brown. But now how can you contribute and add to the roster, to the product, to even elevate it to the next step, right? And sometimes the next step for people looks like it's the second round of playoffs, even though they missed the playoffs this year. Like, whatever your expectations are, sure, whatever. I mean, just winning basketball and getting into the postseason is like, to me, where you're still seeing success, especially in a Western Conference that honestly it just has so many good pieces and teams.
And here's it's simple. Call me a coaching agent now.
No.
I'm giving Brown 4 years, $40 million extension, $10 million a year, and the final year is a same thing. We'll do a mutual option again. So you get 3 more years, $10 million a year. I think that gets it done.
I would love it. It would create enough security for him and ability to be like, okay, I have time to make this team what I need to make it and what I need to do. And that's the other thing too. Can I say that really quick? Mike Brown takes so much pride in basketball and has that competitive spirit where it's like, it's not like he's going to get paid and be like, all right, well now I can coast. It's it's like he wants to win. He wants to be part of a winning culture. It's just more fun to go into work every day. It's more fun to be around. And I think he just has that. And I just hope that's the direction they go.
Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think the Kings get a deal done with Brown before the season? Or are you on the other side? You go, you know what? I want to wait and see. I want to see what this looks like next year before I commit. Let us know in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.